recently we came across a couple of cane guns. Now, as I looked at these cane guns, I always thought the idea was pretty clever. But when I did the research and I realized how popular these cane guns were 100 years ago, they were more common than one might think. In the 1850s, firearms were becoming more predominant on the battlefield and for self-defense. A cane was a huge social status thing during the Victorian era, played a major role on gentleman fashion. Also in the 1850s in Europe was the heart of the Industrial Revolution, and urban crime escalated during this time. You didn't necessarily need a cane gun because there was all sorts of good derringers and other pistols that could easily be concealed, but the cane gun, to many, was the perfect solution for concealed carry. Most of these cane guns came from Europe. However, Remington was the #1 American producer for decades. In Europe, there was the Riley that came out of London. Founded in 1816, Riley was in the business of making fancy firearms. However, it was in 1850 that they made a cane gun that was a pneumatic air gun. Very reliable and very powerful. There were several cane guns that came from France. Many of them firing a .38 caliber, having rifled bores, and smooth bores shooting a .410 shot shell. Meanwhile, in the United States, Remington had advanced the cane gun. This Remington cocking model also had sights on it, as well as did the 1850 pneumatic air gun from Riley. In the 1830s, Jacob Coots out of Philadelphia made air guns. However, in 1830, he created a very reliable flintlock cane gun, and some even exist to this very day in good working condition. Once the Civil War started, firearm manufacturers all over the world had to stop making trendy guns like the cane gun and had to focus more on firearms that win wars. All the gun manufacturers immediately ceased production of the cane gun once the Civil War started. I know there's a few individuals that have made cane guns in the meantime, but I'm not aware of any manufacturer making a cane gun in the last 100 years. Could be wrong though, but I haven't found any. So there you go. For the wealthy and the fancy people, back in the 1850s Victorian era, the cane gun was the perfect CCW. And as evil always shows its ugly head, it's weapons like the cane gun that allow us to defeat it. And thank you for watching this episode of The History of Weapons.